What if I told you that thinking about the worst-case scenario could actually make you calmer, stronger, and less anxious? Sounds negative, right? But the ancient Stoics believed something powerful: the person who prepares for the worst fears nothing. In a world where anxiety disorders affect over 40 million adults in the United States, most people try to avoid negative thoughts. Stoics did the opposite. They practiced something called negative visualization, and it made them emotionally unshakable. Today, I'm going to show you why preparing for the worst every single day can actually give you peace, confidence, and control. Part 1. The Stoic Origins. The practice of negative visualization comes from ancient Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius. These men lived in brutal times: wars, plagues, political chaos. Yet they remained calm. Why? Because they trained their minds to expect loss. Seneca advised people to regularly imagine poverty, illness, exile, even death, not to become depressed, but to become prepared. Marcus Aurelius, in his journal later published as Meditations, reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Not to create fear, but to create urgency. Gratitude. Focus. Part 2. What is negative visualization? Negative visualization is simple: you intentionally imagine something going wrong. What if I lose my job? What if this relationship ends? What if my plans fail? What if people criticize me? Instead of suppressing the fear, you rehearse it mentally. Now here's the twist. When you face your fears voluntarily, they lose their power. Most anxiety comes from uncertainty. The brain fears the unknown more than the event itself. But when you mentally walk through the worst-case scenario, your mind says, oh, that's it. I can survive that. And suddenly, your anxiety drops. Part 3. Why this matters in modern America. In the US we're taught to think positive, visualize success, manifest abundance, avoid negativity. But here's the problem: if you only imagine success, failure shocks you. And shock creates panic. Stoics believed resilience comes from readiness. Imagine an athlete preparing for the Super Bowl. Do they only imagine winning? Or do they prepare for injuries, bad calls, setbacks? Preparation reduces fear. In your daily life, negative visualization works the same way. If you imagine losing money, being rejected, facing criticism, and you mentally prepare your response, you won't freeze when it happens. Part 4. How negative visualization reduces anxiety. Let's break it down psychologically. 1. It removes surprise. Anxiety feeds on unexpected events. Rehearsed adversity feels familiar. 2. It builds emotional immunity. Just like vaccines expose you to small doses of a virus, negative visualization exposes you to small doses of fear. 3. It increases gratitude. When you imagine losing your home, your health, your loved ones, you suddenly appreciate what you have right now. And gratitude kills anxiety. You can't feel grateful and anxious at the same time. 4. It strengthens your response muscle. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, how will I handle this? That shift is power. Part 5. Practical exercise. Here's how to practice it safely and effectively. Step 1. Choose one fear. Not all of them. Just one. Step 2. Visualize it clearly for 2 to 3 minutes. What would happen? How would you respond? Who would you call? What actions would you take? Step 3. End with control. Ask yourself, what is still in my power? This follows the core Stoic principle taught by Epictetus: focus only on what you can control. Everything else, let it go. Practice this daily for 5 minutes. Not obsessively. Strategically. Part 6. The balance, not pessimism, but preparedness. Let's be clear. This is not about being negative. It's about being ready. There's a difference between, I'm doomed, and, if this happens, I'll handle it. Stoics weren't pessimists. They were mentally armored. They understood that life is unpredictable. But your response is always yours. Closing message. Imagine waking up tomorrow without fear of loss. Without fear of rejection. Without fear of uncertainty. Because you've already faced it in your mind. That's Stoic strength. Prepare for the worst, not because you expect it, but because you refuse to be broken by it. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful: the worst isn't nearly as scary as your imagination made it. Train your mind. Control your response. And nothing can control you. If you found this valuable, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom designed for modern life. Stay disciplined. Stay prepared. Stay unshakable.